Hi, I'm Kenny Klaus, and this is State 48 Homeowner.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the State 48 Homeowner Podcast. And with me today, we've got Rob Martin. How you doing, Rob?
Doing great. How are you guys doing?
So, Rob, you've been a real estate agent for quite a while, but you've also been a homeowner for how many years have you been a homeowner?
2016. So, what does that put me at? 8 years now?
And two different homes.
Two different homes, yeah.
So you've moved into your new home twice, which makes you
a veteran, seasoned pro.
Well, for today, an expert. And I've done it quite a few times as well. So let's talk about, as you move into your brand new home, whether it's brand new or brand new to you, what are the 8 things that you want to do in your first week in your new home?
So let me back to that. I also, when you work with me as a client, when we close the house, I'm not done. I still in contact with home. So like I actually, if you want to go down that route, I have been through this process with pretty much all of my clients too. So, and this is the one thing is there's certain things that they do this, don't do this. You know, that is one of the. It's easy to get tripped up on what your priorities should be.
Yeah. And I would say that, you know, as we sat down and we said, well, what are these things? We were looking, what order should they be in? I don't know. You pick the order.
And yes, because when you prioritize things, it might be a little bit different. Because you might not be repainting the inside of your house. So, you know, just work with us here on this one, please.
Yeah. So the first thing that we want to make sure we do, and this is probably what you want to be sure you do before close of escrow, and it's something that we're going to help people do, is to verify that all the utilities are in your name.
So this seems so trivial, but we've seen it. It actually, there can be mistakes on this.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll find that because, you know, sellers will disclose who they've been paying bills to, they might forget, and your neighborhood might be in this weird little island because it's not like if you just live in the town of Gilbert or you live in the city of Mesa that all the utilities are the same. They're not. There's little different boundaries.
There can be private water companies. There can be a county island.
And your home could have used to been in a county island, has services from the county, but now it's in the city, but you still have those services from before.
And we're starting to see that a lot on the outskirts because as, you know, we see more new houses built, they're getting built out that was once county land, and now, you know, cities are starting to assume those, bring the land into their cities. And so we actually kind of see this quite a bit.
We had somebody that we worked with that they had a private water company that was kind of a little tiny one, and we had everything all set up. They moved in, and about a year later, the other agent called and said, "Hey, my client has been getting this bill for sewer."
Oh no!
And to realize that they had never moved, they changed the water, they changed the trash, but they never changed the sewer. So they just wrote the guy a check for, what he had done for that and got it changed over. But you want to make sure everything's in your name.
And this is one thing that hopefully, that we'd catch beforehand because, I do send a list off to every client saying, hey, make sure you do the utilities. This is what they told us they are, but double check it because this could be a headache.
Yeah. And you want to do it beforehand. You don't want to get into the issue where you said, I got everything done. I forgot to call the power company. And then now you're trying to move in without power. And you have to wait for SRP to come out and
so you can get yourself into some not in trouble per se, but it create a big headache for yourself because one thing, a lot of the utility companies, they won't work with you on Fridays. They have limited staff on Fridays. So if you forget to do it and then you're closing and you're looking, oh no, I need to do that today because we're closing and it's Friday, guess what? You can't do it.
Yep.
So it's one of those things that I can't stress, don't overlook it. Another thing that I think is really important is rekey the house.
I don't think a lot of people think about it, but it's a huge thing because you've asked the sellers to give you all the keys.
But how do you know that they didn't give one to kids or didn't have one hidden or, you just don't know.
Or they gave one to the neighbor who they didn't think was creepy, but you think is creepy.
Hopefully you don't have any creepy neighbors, but no, it's totally possible. It doesn't cost that much to do. And to be honest, if you are good at looking at YouTube, you can figure out how to, a lot of these quick set locks, you can rekey it with, a matter of minutes yourself at home. Obviously, we do have some great partners that we work with, and we can steer in the right direction. And with that, but get it done, because all of your life possessions are going in that house, and you want to make sure that you are the only one with the keys to that house and the keys to your stuff. That's why it's so important.
Now, one thing that we just want to stress is if you are planning to put in new door hardware, wait to rekey. Wait a couple days. Do your new door hardware. I'm talking your front door or your back door. If you've got...
Good point.
You said, I want to have this new piece of door hardware. Make that a priority so that you take care of that early on, and so you don't have to rekey twice. Or just have, nothing's more frustrating than having one set of keys for the front door, another for the garage, all that kind of stuff, which, if you just put in the new hardware first and then rekey, and just make sure that everything is the same kind of key. If you've got quick set going out to the garage, then make sure you've got quick set on the front door. Don't put a Schlog in there.
And we're not by any means promoting one brand or another. It's just this is what we see off the shelves.
You'll see they've got a Schlog on the front door, a quick set on the back door, and then they got you can just plan ahead and have it all on one.
Exactly. It makes your life simpler. And that brings us to the third thing. I'd say, do your repairs and get any painting you want done before you get all your stuff in there.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that you find on your inspection report that, sometimes you'll ask the seller to repair some things and you'll decide, well, we'll take care of that later. A great time to fix that stuff is before you get everything in there.
So when we bought our first house, I'm pretty handy, and this was before I was in real estate. And there was a bunch of stuff on the list that, hey, I can take care of that small item. Guess how many of the things that I actually did in the 6 years I owned that house?
I'm going to guess that when you sold it, some of the same stuff came up on the inspection report.
Exactly. And it was, there were items I could do. I was going to do them, but it's just, I got in the mindset of, hey, we need to get in the house, get our stuff in there. It's like, no, the best thing is take time now when the house is empty to knock out some of those items. And even if you need to hire a handyman to do some of these items, it's easier to do it when they're not going around furniture or movers. It just makes your life a lot easier, especially if you're going to be doing paint or any sort of flooring, things like that. Then you're not moving stuff twice.
Yeah, and definitely if you're planning to paint, the best time to paint is before you put in all the furniture, before you do new flooring, things like that. This video is brought to you by Klaus Team Real Estate Solutions. The Klaus Team is different. With the Klaus Team, you have someone on your side. Where you live and make memories is important. We have more unique strategies than anyone else to help you accomplish what matters most to you. We can help you with traditional real estate as well as other options such as our lease purchase programs. We can help you buy first then sell, and we can bring you instant offers. We're here to help our neighbors achieve the American dream and help them build wealth through home ownership. For more info or to start your home search, visit us online at klausteam.com. While we're doing all that stuff, while the house is empty, and then immediately after we move in, let's do a little bit of cleaning.
Exactly. You're going to be making a mess. Now, the people I've seen have two different methods of thought on this. One is, hey, move before all my stuff gets in here. But then other people are like, well, all the movers and all the boxes creates a mess. So I think both mindsets are correct, because it is true. But here's the thing is, you had a bed sitting in the same spot in a room, for years. Yes, I want to clean underneath that, so that's where I would clean it, get in there, do a deep clean before all your stuff's in there. So then you're starting at, clean slate. And then you're going to then have to, after you're done with all the move-in stuff, yes, there's going to be dust and things from, the boxes and whatever, and tracks from the two-wheelers coming in and out, the people walk in. You're going to have to do light cleaning after that. But the big one, it's way easier to do all that before you have to move that piano, that couch, whatever.
Yeah. And while you're doing all those repairs, while you're picking out paint, while you're getting cleaning supplies, you're going to be out and about. So while you're out and about, get to know your neighborhood. Start to pay attention to where are the grocery stores. You may find that you change your grocery store loyalty just based on geography.
Well, your favorite might not be close to your house anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's a great opportunity when you're coming and going, doing these projects, getting things you need. It's like just, keep your head up and look around and see what's around you. Check out the stores and look for some of those local businesses that are, next to the big stores that, could be a great little restaurant or things like that, just to kind of become part of your new community.
Mm-hmm. Look for things that may be within walking distance that you can, instead of going out and driving, you can go get the family together, go ride your bikes, go, take a walk to a restaurant. Or I had a buddy that his wife really struggled to get him to go out and exercise. He was the guy that I ran the LA Marathon with. And one of the motivations that got him to keep going out was, ironically, they opened up a new Cold Stone.
Wait, you ran a marathon?
I did. I ran a marathon and I ran a half marathon.
All right. I wouldn't do it.
Not at the same time. And I wasn't fast. But there was a new Cold Stone opened up in the neighborhood, and it was, about 3/4 of a mile away. And so, she got him to go walk.
There you go.
To the Cold Stone, eat Cold Stone. And, of course, I think it negated all of the walking. But
so another thing, when you're all this activity going on, you're coming in and out. There's a bunch of different cars at different times of the day. You're going to create, some people kind of looking and see what's going on. Well, your neighbors, it's a great time to meet neighbors. They're going to see all this movement. They're going to be looking around. Wave to them, say hi, because this is the best time that you can, create that relationship with your neighbors. It's one thing. I mean, I have some clients that just moved into a house around Christmas. Mm-hmm. Turns out that their neighbor behind them is one of those neighbors that are, well, instead of coming over and saying, hi, I'm your new neighbor, they, greeted them with a letter from the HOA.
That was nice.
You don't want to be that person. Yeah. And you don't want to, so be there, just be a good neighbor and be nice, wave to them, because at some point you might be on vacation, you need somebody to bring your trash bins in so you don't get an HOA violation. You also might want people to keep an eye on your property. When I moved into my most recent new neighborhood, I know when my neighbors are out of town because they text me. When I go out of town, I text them, and we keep an eye on each other's houses. And it's a great little relationship. And, we don't go hang out all the time, but at the same time, we still share a property line with each other, and I can call them and ask them for help, or they can call me and ask for help. It's one of the best things to do to get to know people around you.
And what's happening at this time is you go out and you meet a neighbor, and they tell you their name. Now, I am horrible with names.
Write it down.
So, everybody has a notebook thing on their phone. Just open up a file in your little text notepad on there and just put neighbor names or something like that. The minute you talk to them and they give you their name, put it in there. Put greenhouse is Fred.
What I found is almost the simplest thing to do. This is the time. It's already a little, it's always... It can be weird meeting somebody new, you don't know them. Mm-hmm. To a lot of people, that is, sometimes not the easiest thing to do. You're already in that, potentially in that uncomfortable situation. Just ask for the phone number right there and say, hey, let me shoot you a text message so you have my number.
Perfect. And then just put Blue House. Or something,
next door neighbor.
So you know exactly who they are. All right. Now we get down to some administrative stuff. You're going to get closing documents. It's not like you got a fun book to read.
No.
It's just a stack of, usually a big folder you get from the title company of everything that you signed. Just make sure you get it filed away. You're going to want that. If you can, go scan it and put it in Google Drive or a Dropbox or something somewhere, because you will need to refer back to some of that stuff for when you do your taxes. You may need to refer back to that if you have any questions about your property or anything that happened during the transaction. Now, if you're doing business with a company like the Klaus team, we will have a lot of those documents, but we're not going to have all of your loan documents and things like that. And so we'll get you, one of the big things that you'll need for taxes is your settlement statement.
Yep.
You close with the Klaus team, we're going to mail you that, around tax time and get it to you at the end of the year. But there's other documents that you'll need, so just file them away.
So there's a few things that this is not a glamorous thing in any way, but it will go a long way in the future. A lot of times also when you get a house, the previous owner is going to leave you a stack of manuals for like the refrigerator, the AC, the water softener, stuff like that. And also sometimes there's a couple little parts or a little, a wrench that's for the dish or the garbage disposal, things like that. And this is all, mind you, the confusion and the you're moving your life at this time. So get those in a place that they're going to be, because yes, you will use them. And so getting that up front, I know you might not have your office set up yet or your file cabinet, but dedicate one drawer in the move-in process to put all of this stuff that where it is. So when you do have your office or file cabinet or wherever you do your filing set up, you know where to go get it. And there's also Adobe Scan app is an easy one. You just use your cell phone, take a picture, and it'll turn it into a PDF. Yep. I know iPhones can do it from in their operating system. So there's plenty of ways to turn it to digital copies for you. It's just one of those, it'll save you pain going down the road trying to find these things when you need it. And usually when you need these kind of things, it's not for a good reason. Another thing I can't stress more about documents, and this is not fun, HOA documents. This is one thing, it's a pet peeve of mine. When you buy a house that's in an HOA, we all know it. Your agent's going to tell you, because it's going to be a charge that, every month or every quarter. Know what's in those documents. So usually you'll get it from the title company. And a lot of times it'll be electronic format, but you're basically signing a document when you do your closing paperwork that's saying that you're going to read these things. 90% of people don't do it. Yeah. Then they get upset when they get a violation because they left their trash can out for more than 24 hours.
Or they parked on the street.
Exactly. So it's one of those things, you want to be a good neighbor and follow these rules, because that's the other thing that people get, this HOA, they're always out to get me. Well, here's the deal. You bought a house in an HOA that has certain rules, and you knew that walking into it. And the reason that you like that neighborhood is because it was nice, welcoming. Yeah. And the reason it's nice and welcoming is because they have these rules in place. Yes, some of them, are more restrictive than others, and I can agree with, that some rules I don't agree with. We can go down that pathway, and I'm not saying that HOAs are great by any means.
But it's very difficult to get HOAs to change their rules. You have to have usually 3/4 of the homeowners, and I can tell you, as somebody that used to be on an HOA board, we couldn't get enough quorum half the time for annual meetings to just approve a budget. And so it is very difficult to get them to change the rules. So if you know that there's a rule in there before you buy the house, that you're making your choice there. You either buy the house or you don't, based on, do you want that rule or not? And
knowing that those up front, which is in all those wonderful documents that you're going to shove in that drawer and not look at again, that's going to be right. That's going to save you a headache down the road.
Finally, last thing, we're talking about making a change of address. So what should we do?
So there's multiple different ways to go down this pathway. One, you can start at the United States Postal Service. You can do it online, and they do charge you $1 or something on your credit card to verify your address. Yeah. That's kind of the first big one, because then there will some way in the Postal Service, they send it out, and a lot of people that you wouldn't even think about changing your address magically send you something at your new address. Say, hey, we changed the address. So that's the biggest one. But there's a lot of other things you don't think about. Other online accounts, shipping addresses, Amazon. There's so many times, it actually happened to me this week. I had a client call me and saying, hey, I just got a package for the old owners. What do you want me to do with it? And they live in Iowa, and it's this big box, and what do they do with it? So think about those little items with your address changes.
Another one is your driver's license.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know, in Arizona, you have 10 days to change your address with MVD. Otherwise, if you get pulled over, you could get a ticket for that.
And your registration on your cars. Same thing there. I know that a lot of states, when you move out there, a lot of states will allow you to register out of state, or I just got my tags renewed 6 months ago, I still have 2 years left, or whatever, and you don't want to do it. But if you get pulled over, you will have a ticket sitting there waiting for you. Not to say that, there was once I drove around for 2 years with North Dakota license plates when I lived in California.
Well, and there's a lot of people that do that just because it's cheaper in other states to register your vehicle and all that. But especially with your your driver's license, that they may overlook the registration on your vehicle, but when your driver's license says that you live, somewhere else, they're going to say, well, why are you out here?
Yep. And it's hard to say, where do you live? Oh, I live over here. He doesn't say that.
Mm-hmm. So those are the 8 things that you should do your first week in your new home. And if you would like to have a new home, I know a couple people that can help you.
Right here.
Just reach out to us at klausteam.com, 480-354-7344. Thank you so much, Rob.
No problem.
Thanks for spending time with us this week at State 48 Homeowner, the ins and outs of owning an Arizona home. You can connect with us for more information, submit topics you'd like us to discuss further, and you can see relevant videos, give us feedback, answer your real estate questions, and more at state48homeowner.com.